Matchup of Big East basketball versus Big 12 basketball here on this Thursday as we are underway from Edition Financial Arena. As the Knights here armored in white, as Marquette in the blue and gold, and the pass downstairs, the connection as Ashol Akat gets things underway as the dime from Ali Stedman.
Yeah, nice little ball screen action there between Stedman and Akat. Nice little bounce pass to start the game and get Ashol Akat going offensively.
I mentioned this game number 1 here for Marquette, an NCAA tournament team from a season ago. In fact, they've been to the tourney 7 times in the past 8 years, as count the bucket as the score from Olivia Porter.
You can see right here as Olivia Porter comes off the screen, that little hesitation allows her to get in the paint, finish through the contact. The junior from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, one of the players to come over from Charlotte with Coach Kara Consuegra.
That's right, first-year head coach Kara Consuegra as Charlotte's all-time winningest coach as she returns to Milwaukee, where she was a one-time assistant coach under Terry Mitchell.
A lot of success in Coach Consuegra's career. Charlotte, tournament berth, former Conference USA Coach of the Year. Marquette got a good one being able to get Coach Consuegra back in Wisconsin.
Out of the double team, Volker with the steal and the pass up ahead. They're going to wave things off. Stepping out of bounds down on the baseline, I believe. As there's Satia Messer, the win over Iona, 76-44. And here, game number 2, BJ, maybe a couple keys for these Knights.
Yeah, I think what you're looking for with UCF is they're going to look to go inside as they do right there. Not only can they find Hannah Gustus to score, but they wanted to force double teams as Ali Stedman is a bit off. And then also, they got to be prepared to handle multiple defenses from Marquette. And Coach Consuegra's years at Charlotte, she likes to junk it up, play different defenses. UCF has got to run their offense effectively no matter what defense they face.
In and out from Forbes, good look on the wing. And now on the push, here comes Neve Brown as the left-handed lay-in falls off the iron. And now the quick clearance here for Marquette. And 5 new starters here this year for Marquette, as trying to replace quite a bit of production for that NCAA tournament team.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. I mean, they have a double dribble right there from Jada Bidiaco. But to piggyback on what you're saying, this is a Marquette team who's losing about 60 points per game from a year ago, 25 rebounds per game, and about 15 assists. So about 80 to 85% of the offensive production is gone. They're going to have a new crop of players have to step up, and it starts here tonight.
Their top 3 scorers exiting Milwaukee. Megan Duffy, the former head coach, takes the job at Virginia Tech. As on the push, there was Peterson. A lot of contact, no whistle. It'll stay here with UCF. As Peterson comes off the 22-point performance on Tuesday night. Big 12's top scorer from a season ago, a preseason selection in the Big 12.
And here's what we talked about, Scott, a little zone defense out of bounds under from UCF. UC caused a little confusion right there and forced a turnover.
And now here's Porter. Porter on the left-hand side gets the score. Her second field goal here of the evening. And the Golden Eagles with a quick 5-2 lead. But a blur, Ginsu knifing through the lane is Caitlin Peterson.
Yeah, and that's one of the keys for Marquette, Scott. They have to get back in transition defense, not only on missed shots, but also on made shots. Caitlin Peterson is one of the fastest guards in the country, and that is not an exaggeration.
The up and under move by Bidiaco. And then a last touched here by the Golden Eagles. But the blur that is Caitlin Peterson, and she would be 9 of 16 from the floor against Iona. Also had 5 steals on the day.
And the hardest part about dealing with Peterson is you can't scout for her speed, athleticism, and ability to get to the rim. Players have to be able to adjust on the fly on the court, meaning you got to give her a step, give her a little room so that you can take her first step.
Peterson gets hedged out, and Forbes is going to get called for the block.
And that's a prime example right there, Scott. Most times when Forbes steps out like that, there are a lot of guards that are going to be able to get to her hip that fast with the speed and burst that Caitlin Peterson does. She's going to have to adjust and give herself a little bit more room.
Stedman, the former Miami Hurricane. And now Ashola Cott, double-figure rebounder against Iona, and in the spin cycle, able to finish things off with the left hand. As UCF out in front. And a good call down inside of the lane as there was the traveling violation as Forbes was working.
Terrific spin move right there from Ashola Cott, right? You see her able to get Skylar Forbes off balance, step through, and finish with the left hand. You know, Coach Tatia Messer spoke about Ashola Cott developing a better ball handle this offseason. Showed a little bit right there when she attacked the rim.
She's got a quick 4 points here for UCF as Peterson loses the orange, and coming out with it here is Forbes. And she'll wait for the cavalry. As taking a look back is Olivia Porter, who comes over from Charlotte with Coach Consuegra. Pass comes down into Forbes. Forbes turns and shorts it. And there's the clearance by Hannah Gusters. And now into the game for the first time, the freshman for the Knights, Emily Rodriguez, who would be in double figures on Tuesday. There's 4.5 minutes opening quarter from Orlando.
That ball's got to go inside, Scott. Hannah Gusters one-on-one with Jada Bidiaco. That ball's got to go.
Block shot by Bidiaco as Peterson was able to get past the first wave of defense. And now sophomore Kayala Ngodu will come into the game. Checking out is Hannah Gusters. And Kennedy Perkins will enter here for the Marquette Golden Eagles.
Another player with a bit of experience for the Golden Eagles. Syracuse transfer, 52 career games there, so she's used to playing high-level women's basketball.
Ashola Cott, this time from the foul line is stepping out, little midi game, and she now has 6 of UCF's first 8 points. 3 ball on its way from Weiss. Heel of the iron, but we're going to get a whistle here that's going to go against
his wife, so he'll be deeply missed. I mean, guys, what a way to honor a president who really showed how much he cares about his student athletes and the entire program.
Yeah, without question, Maddie May, such a great tribute. You see that sunflower patch on those Marquette jerseys. Coach Consuegra absolutely gushing about the former president who adored women's basketball, was at nearly every game with his wife, and constantly always be uplifting student athletes in Milwaukee. As tough move there by Neve Brown as she was able to separate and levitate there from the foul line.
And when this is an exciting sight for UCF because 8 of their first 10 points have come from Ashola Cott and Neve Brown, 2 players who they do not lean on heavily to be their leading offensive scorers.
Yeah, not Caitlin Peterson or Hannah Gusters, who just got that rebound, is back into the game. And you see how quickly Caitlin Peterson motors up the floor. Hannah Gusters with the soft touch from the outside. And then on the other end, unable was Volker. But there to clean things up is Skylar Forbes. Her first score as the first 5 points for the Golden Eagles belong to Olivia Porter.
What you have to realize right now, Scott, is that Skylar Forbes has drawn the matchup of Hannah Gusters on the defensive end. So not only is she going to be leaned on offensively to score, but right now, without Jada Bidiaco in the game, she's going to be working extremely hard defensively as well.
Allie Weiss going to get picked up with the infraction. BJ, we got a matchup here tonight of 2 former point guards that played at an extremely high level during their collegiate careers. There's Coach Messer, of course, at Arkansas, and Coach Consuegra at Iowa. Here's Porter running the floor, and Porter able to have the quick shot fake and then gets the score. She continues her hot offensive play here for Marquette as Coach Consuegra's ladies, this opening game for them.
Very controlled finish right there from Porter. Real vet move. Get another travel on Kayala Nagodi.
Yeah, that was a good call before putting the orange on the deck. As our officiating crew here tonight, Natasha Brown, Tasha Smith, and Roy Golbian. Is that the 5th turnover here already for UCF? They would have 11 different ladies score in the victory against Iona on Tuesday. They were able to empty the bench, see some of the new freshmen that were out onto the floor. Going to work, here's Forbes challenging Guster. Tap out comes to Weiss, second effort. As Weiss will lose it, and out it comes Allie Stedman.
It was a nice job of getting around Hannah Gusters there. She had options, just fumbled the ball.
Here's Gusters down in the pivot. As the turnaround shot is errant.
Yeah.
And now Lee Volker. A Purcellville, Virginia native. Gives it into Forbes, and she'll take her woman off the dribble, but blows the bunny. As a great quick first step move there by Skylar Forbes. And that'll be last touch by a Golden Eagle.
Well, in that matchup of two of our key players, that's where Forbes has the advantage, right? If she can catch the ball 10 to 12 feet from the rim, stretch Hannah Gusters out a little bit, she can get around her with speed and quickness. And then obviously on the other end, Hannah Gusters has to be able to garner deep post position so that she can go up and finish inside.
A role player a season ago on that 23-9 Golden Eagle team stepping into a starting role here this year as Ashola Cott. Cott gets past her woman again, shows the ball fake, and then scores with the left hand.
Yeah, Shaw's doing a great job with her step through right now, being patient once she gets down there. And that's growth from last season. Many times she would be in a hurry when she went to the rim. Right now, this season showing a little maturity with patience.
And here is Brown going coast to coast and finishing things off with the left hand. As Neve Brown here with a quick 4.
Good shot.
And Skylar Forbes with the quick answer, top the bubble, able to connect on the game's first three-point make.
And you can tell Forbes is ready to step up this season. Playing behind Eliza Carlin last year, you learn a lot in that role, right? Seeing a player be successful at the same position as you, you can tell she's ready to step up and have a bigger role.
And how about the dime from Ashola Cott, the high, the low, the execution here on offense for UCF.
Which is a textbook high-low right there. If the defender fronts, Gusters inside, you want to throw that ball up over the top of her head. There's no help on the backside. It's an easy finish for Gusters. Nice pass from Ashola Cott.
Knights currently nearly 70% from the floor as stepping out is Forbes. And now UCF here in transition. Running out of real estate is Caitlin Peterson. Brown trying to quickly find her over by that Marquette bench.
It's hard to overthrow Caitlin Peterson as fast as she is. That's like overthrowing, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson out on the football field.
I think that's impossible.
You got to take something off it. It's possible.
Your
10th grade high school arm? Boy, I've heard about you, Scott.
Hey, I'll have you know,
you used to put that thing out there 55 yards flat-footed is what I heard.
There was a championship fraternity league that I was in.
Before the golf elbow.
That's correct. BJ's referencing currently my condition, my golfer's elbow. That is not from golfing.
No.
Oddly enough. There's final 20 ticks here in this opening quarter. Game clock to shot clock, 10-second differential. Volker goes to the corner. Now the feed inside, going to get poked away. That's Ashola Cott. And last touch there by Bidiaco.
Nice job of UCF of rotating over on the backside. Marquette was looking to run a set play to get a high-low of their own inside the Bidiaco.
Now 8 seconds. Brown on the move. Brown crossing up, losing the orange, and that'll be a traveling violation here with a freckle over 3 seconds remaining here in this first quarter.
It looks like Marquette's going to run a set play right here. They might throw the ball into Jada Bidiaco in the center of the court. Just let Olivia Porter push it up.
Porter's not going to be able to get off the shot, and that'll do it. 6 points, 13 rebounds in the victory over Iona on Tuesday. UCF was very good on the offensive glass. They would snare down 26 of them. The second quarter underway. Miscue here for the Golden Eagles. Was trying to find Hallie Weiss.
Good setup right there by Weiss. And not a bad pass from Porter. It was really, once again, a Charlotte Cott left the player she was defending to help out on that back door. That's what screwed up the timing.
Hannah Gusters banging downstairs. Too strong. Stedman's second effort. That one will jump off. And now here's Porter. Thought about throwing it up floor. Instead, will bring it up here into the front court. As predicted to finish 10th in the 11-team league in the Big East, this being the Golden Eagles. And 7 on the shot clock. The double team on the Sharia Smith. Smith can't connect, and neither can Bediako, and contested on both shots.
A lot of trouble right now for Marquette to score inside. Only 3 of their 16 field goal attempts have been from behind the three-point arc. I'd like to see them try to stretch the floor a little bit and not have to rely so much on going inside because it's just too clogged up right there for them.
Sub 10 seconds on that shot clock. Here's a Shola Cott. And Caitlin Peterson going to have to recognize. She'll step into a 3 and get a 3. As Caitlin Peterson squares the shoulders and bang.
You can't give a shooter like Caitlin Peterson that kind of look on that play. Sharia Smith's got to step up to contest that Caitlin Peterson 3.
Olivia Porter trying for the answer on the other end, instead misfiring, and then tied ball.
So you see right here, Sharia Smith's got to come up. There's a screen set against Olivia Porter. She's not going to be able to get over that in time to contest the shot. That's a situational, Scott. Right? There's situationals in basketball games where even if you're not traditionally switching, under 5 seconds on the shot clock, that's a switch-out situation because the shot's going up.
Recognition by Caitlin Peterson. Now here with 5 points. There's Neve Brown, one of the newest Knights. There's the East Tennessee State transfer. It's down into Gusters, and she can't hold on. And then trying to track it down, it goes out of bounds on Weiss.
And that's one way to affect the high-low right there with Skylar Forbes is get deflections, active hands, be ready to make a play on the basketball. It's not just the player defending the person they're trying to go inside to, it's also the person defending the basketball.
And Shola Cott, a long 2.
Thought it was going in.
And the iron looked like it was going to be forgiving on her. Didn't happen. Pulling it down. Here's Weiss. Now into the hands of Utberg, who's recently checked in, and an errant pass over by that Knight bench.
That's the second or third time we've seen a turnover from Marquette attacking that baseline. There's nothing wrong with driving down there, but you got to have a plan or idea of what you're going to do before you get down there.
That turnover number 7 here for the Golden Eagles. Double team comes on Peterson. She'll get it back and look to dive into the lane. She will draw the contact. And Skylar Forbes currently trying to plead her case. And that's going to be number 2 on the talented sophomore from Ontario.
Yeah. And again, that's the speed of Caitlin Peterson. I didn't see a lot there from Skylar Forbes. She's moving side to side. But I thought she beat Caitlin Peterson to the spot. Good offensive players know how to draw fouls, Scott.
Forbes will take a seat. In the meantime, on the steal, here is Porter. And Porter will get the late whistle as she showed the ball fake first, and then the freshman coming in, Emily Rodriguez, with the contact.
Well, that's the most success that Marquette's had going to the rim is Olivia Porter. You've got to find a way to get other players going now with those 2 fouls against Skylar Forbes. Another player for the Marquette Golden Eagles is going to have to step up.
Now Porter, the Chapel Hill, North Carolina product. As her first year in Milwaukee, would begin her career at Michigan State before then transferring to Charlotte, where she would link up with Coach Consuegra. And now here in Milwaukee. Ms. Porter able to connect. And we asked Coach Consuegra how impactful Olivia Porter is going to be for this roster.
Yeah.
This is an entirely new situation in which she's stepping into this coaching staff, where you're getting a brand new roster of players.
Yes. Well, and it's a unique situation for Olivia Porter, right? Because it's a new school, new team, but same coach. So even though she's transferred to a new place as Hannah Gustus gets the run-out transition lay, for Olivia Porter, she's actually the most comfortable out of anyone, right? Because she's actually been with Coach Consuegra. So she's going to be leaned upon a lot to kind of help the other players with the standard and expectations that Coach Consuegra has.
Defense to offense for UCF, and the score is amongst the trees. That was Jaden Mason. Knights able to impact that, and now Caitlin Peterson goes through the lane, can't finish. Emily Rodriguez, offensive rebound, and a foul here on the Golden Eagles.
Great
There's
job.
that constant push, BJ.
Yeah, every time. Every time Caitlin Peterson gets the ball in transition, there has to be a wall of defenders back. If not, she's going to wiggle her way to the rim.
Largest lead currently of the contest, as we'll step aside. The Knights here, second game of the week, up over the Marquette Golden Eagles. Nine-point advantage currently here in the second quarter for UCF, where Satia Messer's ladies looking to go to 2-0 on the season. And they've got a new mantra this year. And for more on that, here's our Naime Dickinson.
Yes, Scott, they do. One team, one heartbeat. Every season, the Knights create a new motto for the team to embrace throughout the season. And this year they said, just as a heartbeat symbolizes life and being together, this phrase shows that even though the team is from all over the world this season, outside of basketball, but while playing, they all move as one. Each player and staff has a shirt and a wristband that they wear to remind them of this phrase. And now, Scott, how do you think that they're embracing this motto on the court today?
I'd say so far so good at this point. BJ is now a double-figure lead here for UCF in this first half.
Those kind of little things matter a lot, Scott. When I was a player at UCF, my senior year, we had 4 or 5 other seniors who were kind of the leaders of our team. So our team phrase was "leave your legacy," right? Because we had 4 or 5 guys who had been at UCF for a while. We were on our way out. So every game throughout the season, our coach would come in the locker room, Coach Dawkins, and say, "Hey, how do you guys want to leave your legacy? How do you want to be remembered?"
And Augusters with the quick steal, and now Emily Rodriguez able to hang mid-flight. Get a little contact, didn't matter. She was able to score at home her first field goal of the evening.
And Rodriguez is an attack player, right? You can tell she's not overthinking college basketball. She's not worried about the physicality. She's like, I'm going to attack, I'm going to go. And so far this season, through 2 games, she's having a lot of success.
A misfire by Lee Volker as Emily Rodriguez with 13 points on Tuesday as the freshman gaining confidence. As Bediako stepped out there on Gusters, and now with the quick reset, there's Lucy Castagne. And now Gusters in the short corner. Now Marquette here on the push. They're shooting sub 25% here on the game in this opening half.
They got to get some sort of outside shooting going here. If the plan is to just go inside, nice play right there from Jada Bediako, but you'd like to see Marquette get some sort of perimeter game to open up the ability to go inside. It's a big reason why they're shooting 24% from the field right now, as so many of their looks have been heavily contested.
Former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket Bediako. And Wagu steps out, can't connect. Gusters tries the pushback. And now pushing up the floor, Stevens running, and Stevens getting the easy score. And Satia Messer wants a timeout. As there was Jaden Mason able to find the open woman who was making her way down the floor.
If you want to bet in college basketball on a timeout getting called, just bet right after a team gives up a wide open transition layup.
I'll get your attention real quick.
The coach is going to be out at the free throw line before the ball even goes through the net. Transition buckets just crush coaches. They can't stand wide open layups in transition.
Well, there's Coach Consuegra. Her ladies trying to chip away. I mentioned a battle of point guards here tonight. You see Coach there on the left side. I asked her earlier today if she reminds her ladies who the first CC was, and she says, you're looking at her, it's the OG CC, as Coach Consuegra at Iowa, there 98-01. You see the number. She was the first player, BJ, at the time, over 1,000 points and 500 assists.
And what everyone needs to keep in mind is that Coach Consuegra's numbers on the left are incredible numbers. You can't compare numbers to Caitlin Clark. To have nearly 4,000 points and all those assists, I mean, those are numbers that would probably never be broken for a very, very, very long time, not in our lifetime in women's college sports, Scott.
Here's Peterson, 4 on the shot clock. Ashola Kott flips it up and wave it off as an offensive foul, as sacrificing her body is Ariel Stevens.
You're gonna see right here, Stevens comes over, able to get legal guarding position outside of the restricted area. One of the points of emphasis is being over and set with both feet on the ground before the player takes off into the launching motion. I think that toe was still on the ground of Ashola Kott, and Stevens was there. Great job of sacrificing her body.
Final 4 minutes here before halftime. There's the high-low. It's going to get knocked around, ping-ponged. And there's Lee Volker, but a tie-up. Arrow will stay here in favor of the ladies from Milwaukee.
And right there, Ashola Kott, a little too aggressive. Could have called the first one where she went for the deflection.
Porter into the corner. Volker. She's had some good looks here tonight. Now the mid-range is going to fall for Lee Volker, her first score.
Those are good shots, right? You know, Volker needs to take those open looks. Somebody has got to make the UCF defense respect their ability to at least attempt shots from the outside.
And BJ now a 2-possession game, and here's a steal by the Golden Eagles. Going to look to continue to chip away as currently on a 6-0 run. Hesitation move, Porter, going to have the ball ripped out of her hands. That was Rodriguez. It'll be last touch by Porter.
Quick hands of Emily Rodriguez right there caused that turnover, because if not, Porter was on her way to beelining to the rim for a layup.
Little pressure in the backcourt. Mason going to jump off of it. Now here in the half court as Coach Consuegra's defense going to really look to make this night offense work in the half court. That was one of her points of emphasis.
Yeah, exactly. You know, she doesn't want UCF to get out and run in transition. UCF, 48 points in the paint last game.
Stepping out, Peterson. That was a triple, and now a foul on Rodriguez, the freshman.
And Marquette's been at their best in this game when they've been able to make it a half-court game, make it physical, and make it a little bit muddy.
And so the freshman going to take a seat, and Allie Stedman, the senior who's played a ton of basketball in her career, began at Pepperdine before transferring to Miami, and now here in Orlando, her first season with the Knights. She steps back out onto the floor. As Marquette was trailing by double figures in the quarter. As Mason squirting to the hole. Won't find a hole, and then the traveling violation after getting the remains. That was Bediako. Coming up tomorrow here in this very building, Johnny Dawkins guys, they'll look to improve to 2-0, and they'll welcome in the Mastodons of Purdue Fort Wayne. And you can catch right here on ESPN+. Peterson. Blocked from behind as Lee Volker on her hip pocket. Now we'll bring it up here into the forecourt. Now Porter, who's been the hot woman, she's got 9 points in this opening half. Her first game as a Marquette Golden Eagle.
Got a mismatch inside with Stevens being defended by Peterson.
Volker slips past Stedman and is able to get the lay-in.
Nice drive with a closeout. We'll get to the rim and finish inside it. And here you go, 5-point game.
And back-to-back scores for Lee Volker.
Great job of Marquette of fighting their way back into this. We were at that teetering point where a lead either starts to expand to that 15-20 range, or does the other team fight back and keep it tight. Marquette, great job getting back in this one.
Gusters inside to Akot, and Lee Volker is going to get called for the blocking violation.
Great finish by Volker to go up with the right hand, but the Stevens seal was really the unsung hero of that play. And then you're going to see as Lee Volker comes over, unable to get over there and get set that time. That's what we call an off-ball blocking foul, right? Charlotte Cott didn't receive the basketball yet, but there was contact as a Charlotte Cott.
So now two starters now, BJ, currently sitting on Coach Consuegra's bench. UCF going to cough it up. They're trying to get it in off the inbounds.
This has been a good situation, honestly. This has worked out well with Skylar Forbes going to the bench at the time she did. Marquette has been able to steady the ship without her presence in the game. So, yeah, obviously they don't want to be down 5 points, but for the circumstances that they've had this first half, this is not a bad place to be if you're Coach Consuegra's team.
Audang Ring steps out on the floor for Hannah Gusters, who takes a seat with 6 points. As Ring, the freshman for the Knights. One of those lengthy new front court players here for UCF. And Akot going to knock down the pass intended for Bediako. Shot clock will remain. It shows 7.
Great activity right there from the Charlotte Cott. Hedged the ball screen, got back down to the post, and deflected a pass.
As Mason atop the bubble, crossing up. Mason, she'll levitate. Front of the iron, and now a Shola Cott here with 45 ticks remaining here in this opening half from Orlando.
Yep, and the Knights had time for a 2-for-1. They didn't choose to take it, so.
And a bump from behind. That is Sharia Smith.
One more until the bonus. So in this situation, if you're UCF, you could drive Marquette and get to the free throw line.
Stedman frees herself up as the good look. Cott can't save it, and now numbers the opposite direction.
Yeah, Marquette needs to get the last shot here. Do not allow an opportunity for UCF to get a transition bucket. They're going to want to take the shot with 5-4 on the clock.
Here's Olivia Porter. Porter gives Mason, now inside. Bediako, 3 seconds. Bediako flips it up, but it will not fall, and that'll do it for the first 20 minutes here from inside Addition Financial Arena. Or the Golden Eagles
on the court, but anything that makes the team want to come together, right? That's what you want to do. You want something that allows players to feel like, hey, it's not all about me, it's about team success as well. So there's a variety out there. They all get recycled, but it's really more so about the players taking ownership of the mantra.
Double team into Gusters. Doesn't matter as she's able to maneuver and get the score. Hannah Gusters here on the board for the Knights. That snaps the drought that UCF had there at the tail end of the second quarter.
And give credit to Coach Messer for that play call coming out of halftime.
And there's an answer quickly on the other end is Lee Volker. Crafty move there by the senior.
Yeah, well, Lee Volker started to get it going there at the end of the first half. This is one of the few holdovers from this Marquette team, played in all 32 games last season for Marquette. So Lee Volker's seen just about everything there is to see in college basketball.
Well, both Volker and Forbes back out on the floor. They started the game here for Coach Consuegra, playing with 2 fouls, as sitting for hefty minutes is that woman who comes pterodactyling in for the big block is Skylar Forbes.
And that's Skylar Forbes showing that she is a two-way player. The ability to close on that shot like she did on the Vebron, right? You see the length and the outreach? That's a player that's engaged coming out of halftime. She said, Scott, those 2 fouls are not going to carry over into how I play here in the second half.
And now less than a second on the shot clock and beating the clock. Ashol Akat as the triple from downtown. And Akat, who did not score in the second, had less than a second to get the ball off.
And I'd have to double check, but that might be Ashol Akat's first career made three-pointer. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that was her first made 3 of her college career.
You would be correct, B.J. Taylor, but not to be outdone, Skylar Forbes, the sensational sophomore for Marquette, able to one-up her.
And now those shooting percentages are starting to go up a little bit here in the second half.
Skylar Forbes now with 8 points, wheeling, dealing, spinning, firing. That was Hannah Gusters. And Volker with the clearance now up into the forecourt.
Yeah, and see, for UCF, that's a shot right there. They want Gusters going towards the rim, not fading away from the rim.
Quick heat check there. An open look by Forbes. Long rebound comes out, and there is Brown to Shola Cott running the floor, beating the Marquette defense down.
This is the best all-around game that Shola Cott's played in her college career. We're really seeing her grow up on the floor here tonight.
Now 13 points here for Shola Cott, and nearly with the steal. Volker going to have her pass knocked down, and now Stedman with her head on a swivel. Touchdown lead here for UCF, led by as many as 13 in the first half. Peterson, an open look, trifecta, you betcha.
Well, now it's all starting to get going, right, Scott? Now UCF's going inside, right? They got Shola Cott going. They get Kaylin Peterson, their star player, going. This is dangerous for opposing teams if UCF can figure out a way to get everyone going for the Knights.
Quick hands, Neve Brown.
And see right here, Neve Brown doing what a good point guard does, getting the head up quick to find a Charlotte Cat. And then Kaylin Peterson showing just one of her many weapons as an offensive player. We've seen it all here in the last 2 minutes. We've seen Neve Brown with an assist to Charlotte Cat. We've seen this Kaylin Peterson three-pointer. We've seen Hannah Gusters inside to start the second half. This is ideal basketball for the Knights.
Porter, the quick swing, now Forbes. She'll attack, and her pass errant, but there was Bediako to retrieve. Shot clock now at 5. And Stedman able to come up with the orange, but then falling out of bounds over by that Marquette bench. As it was a change of possession, so Marquette now here will reset the clock.
That's not a textbook way to force a steal with the high swipe coming down, but when you get all ball and it works, not much the coach can say. Typically, you want palms up, Scott, when you go for a steal. So next time you're at the rec, you know, or you're in your men's league,
noted, Coach.
Remember that palms up, Scott. Palms up.
Palms up. As now here is the steal for UCF. Caitlin Peterson crashing into Golden Eagles, no whistle. And the orange now quickly up into the forecourt, maybe a frustration foul there by Peterson.
Well, this officiating crew has shown they're going to let the game be played pretty physically. There's been a lot of reaching and grabbing from the Knights here tonight. Marquette's going to have to make sure they match that physicality. And that's when they actually had the most success, when they have matched the physicality of UCF, when they played with the same force. But they haven't seen that consistently.
Bediako surveying as we played 4 minutes here into this third quarter. And Bediako challenging against Gusters, trying to clear space, leaves it a little bit short.
That's just a tough matchup to work.
There's the presence of Hannah Gusters. Talk about her offense and the way she's able to clear people out, but defensively is able to hold her ground and impose her will.
Yeah, well, in that situation, Bediako's, she's lighter, she's not as tall, she's giving up 3 inches in there. That's just not the place to go.
Here's the inside-outside Stedman in the corner pocket. And the third triple here of this third quarter for UCF is nothing but nylon. As Hannah Gusters inside doesn't lead here for UCF, as catching a flame to begin this third quarter, as there's some on-fire dance moves I'm seeing right there, as well as Scott Adams, B.J. Taylor on the sidelines is Maddie Mae Dickinson. As B.J., there's a quick correction here after the timeout by Kara Consuegra, as the three-point make by Ashola Cott is going to be waved off completely. Shot clock violation.
Yeah, did not get it off in time. So we'll still be awaiting the first Ashola Cott three-pointer of the season.
So that 13-point lead is now 10 here for the Knights. As that would have been her first ever three-point make, her first attempt as well. Speaking of a triple try, that one in and out by Skylar Forbes, who has 2 of them already on the game.
Yeah, got to be looking to take that shot when she has it. A versatile player that can get to the rim, but the better she does from outside, the easier to be the drive as Hannah Gusters loses the basketball.
And timeout on the floor. Here is Hannah Gusters, who's going to look to try to take her woman off the dribble. As opening week here from Orlando continues on, 10-point Knight lead. An 8-0 run currently here for UCF has them up double figures as first-year head coach Kara Consuegra here in the timeout. There was an opportunity to take another look here at the Asholacott three-pointer that was waved off because we were told that it was still in her hands.
Yeah, and obviously the rule is the ball needs to be completely off of a player's fingertips before the red light goes off. It looked like it was on that Asholacott three.
There's a Cott here with 10 points on the game for the Knights. That's currently the lead right now for UCF, who's looking to go to 2-0 on the season. As Bediako, pretty move, as flicks it up with the left hand past Gusters.
Well, Jada Bediako said, take that, BJ. Feed me the post, Hannah Gusters on me, doesn't matter. Just wiggle around it with the left hand. Okay, I see you.
The former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, first year here at Marquette, part of the Canadian under-19 national team. And now the double team on Gusters, the traveling violations,
Shuffle the puppies, yeah. The timing on the post feed was a little off. As soon as Hannah Gusters ducks in and calls for the ball needs to hit. It's kind of like when a wide receiver comes out of his break, Scott, it's already got to be there. That entry pass was just a half second too late.
And that allowed the other Marquette defender to slide in.
And a big part of that, Scott, is just the timing, right? New teammates, they haven't played with Hannah Gusters. UCF hasn't had a dominant post like this in years.
Forbes trying the back door, and it's open. As getting the score, Bridget Utberg. As credit the dime there by Forbes, really letting that play develop.
Yes, and once again, we're seeing Marquette fight their way back in. UCF extends it to a double-digit lead. Marquette slowly works their way back in.
Bediako from behind.
It's a great backdoor, great left-handed finish from Bridget Utberg underneath the rim.
And the smallest woman on the floor at 5'5" gets past the 6'6" Gusters.
Did a great job of using the rim, though, for protection. It's really hard for shot blockers to come across to the other side of the rim. For all the young players out there watching, use that rim to finish at the cup.
Asholacott re-enters the game for Satia Messer. Double team comes on Caitlin Peterson. And then Emily Rodriguez with the offensive foul.
A little chicken wing hook right there, Scott. That'll be the third foul against Emily Rodriguez. And now if you're Marquette, can you break through? They've been able to fight their way back into it twice now to get this back to, a 5-6 point game. Can they finally break through and either tie or take the lead?
And here is Porter. She led the way in the first half with 9 points for the Golden Eagles. A deep three, Utberg. Heel of the iron, skying is Asholacott. And now in transition.
Great block.
Peterson gets blocked there by Forbes. Second effort not there by Rodriguez. Third attempt was Gusters. And finally a whistle here against Marquette. And that's going to be number 4 here on the sophomore standout, Skylar Forbes.
Yeah, a great block right there before she picked up her 4th foul. Just consistent effort from Asholacott, Gusters, and Rodriguez. You can see right here the hands are going to come down. She leaves her feet. As soon as you leave your feet, you give up all control of your body, because once you go up, your only option is to come down, Scott. That's your physics lesson for the day. What goes up must come down.
That's gravity, is it not?
That's physics, right?
E equals MC squared?
Well, gravity's physics, right?
That's right.
I was trying to be your professor, and then I had to get reassurance.
I'm going to bring you an apple next broadcast.
Yes, yes.
Granny Smith or?
Yep.
Emily Rodriguez, the freshman, perfect from the stripe here today. As you saw, foul number 4 for Skylar Forbes. And checking into the game, Ariel Stevens. Bediako handoff. They're going to need some help. There was Brown with the quick hands, and then Asholacott.
Yep, and those are the ones that Asholacott is still working to take out of her game. Shot clock's running down on Marquette. Nothing's happening. They don't have anything going. No need to pick up a foul 45 feet from the rim right there.
And Coach Satia Messer over on that Knights sideline.
You know,
Perkins, quick reset now here for the Eagle offense. Porter kicks into the corner, upward, shot clock at 4. And a blocking violation on Ashola Koch. She picks up her second here quickly, and that'll be number 3 on the sophomore.
Yep. And you have to appreciate her effort and her energy and the activity that she plays with out on the court. You really do. And that's kind of the line that coaches have to walk, right, Scott? You don't want to take those things away from her because they're such assets to your team. But on a play like this, Bridget Utberg at 5'5", finishing up over the outstretched hands of Ashola Koch is a very unlikely play. If Ashola Koch can get over there and not allow Utberg to just run into her for the foul, the likelihood of her making that shot is very, very low. That's where Ashola Koch has to learn to, just continue to grow and think the game in that situation. My coaches always tell me, DJ, think the game. I know you're trying to make a play, but what are the chances of that player making that shot? Unlikely.
Now, BJ, we're going to see some full-court pressure here for the first time by Coach Consuegra, and it's going to pay off.
Yep.
As getting into the passing lanes, now can they take advantage is the question.
Good pass. Yeah, I got to catch that if you're Ariel Stevens.
And Hannah Guster is going to come down with the loose change here. Under 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. As Marquette trying again to chip away. Rodriguez on the drive, Utberg with the hold.
It's just the freshman Rodriguez realizing that she's a little bit bigger and more physical than the smaller Bridget Utberg. Just ripped her right and drove her.
With your Coach Consuegra here, some solid minutes off the bench.
Absolutely.
For Bridget Utberg.
Absolutely.
One-time Central Michigan Chippewa, who's part of the all-freshman team in her rookie campaign. And they're off the inbound, the set piece, waiting to go to, frees herself up and gets the score, her first here of the contest.
Yeah, great find right there to find the Kyla to go to underneath the rim. It's the hard part of playing a zone defense on an out-of-bounds under. No player on the court has an individual matchup.
Porter. Hop step into the lane, out to Porter. She'll eye a 3, way off. There's a shot clock winding down, and now UCF quickly transition. This is where they excel. Peterson, tightrope and baseline. Rodriguez, open look, and she knocks it down. Emily Rodriguez, her first triple here of the evening. And that brings the Knight faithful to their feet.
And I'm going to proclaim it right now, Scott. The Knights got themselves a player.
As Bediako banging downstairs, no whistle, as Gusters wins that battle. And UCF now here, another double-figure lead. And the freshman Rodriguez, after double figures on Tuesday in the victory against Iona, here tonight she's got 9 points and 5 rebounds in 11 minutes of work. Peterson drawing the contact, and it's going to be a charge on the senior from Uvalde, Alabama.
And this is one of the few pieces we haven't seen from Emily Rodriguez this season. The ability to step out and knock down the open triple. If she can do that consistently, yeah, the sky's the limit for the freshman from the Dominican Republic. She's got a lot of ability, Scott.
4 triples here on the game for UCF. As now the Golden Eagles looking for points. 3 seconds left. Shot is errant from the elbow, and that's going to do it here for quarter number 3, where UCF at the palm of your hand or on your TV at the house, your smart TV, pop on ESPN Plus, and there is a labyrinth there of options.
Labyrinth, that's a good word.
As a brand new season of basketball underway, fourth quarter begins, and Mason connects here out of the gates for Marquette. There's a 10-point lead here for UCF.
You say labyrinth?
A labyrinth. And you're able to just, you go down one door and then you find yourself somewhere else.
Strong vocabulary.
Emily Rodriguez, the talented freshman. And now Peterson. 4 on that shot clock. Double team comes. Guster's way extended. Back to Peterson and unable to recognize that shot clock. And a solid sequence defensively, or is there going to be a potential bailout call here? Was there a foul on Marquette? We're going to get a stoppage of play here as
that night possession never really got going. I'd be surprised. This would be quite the bailout here if there was a foul at the end of this play. You're going to see the dribble handoff between Gusters and Peterson. They're going to call
Encore ruling is a personal foul. Plays under review to see if it occurred prior to the expiration of the shot clock.
So we're going to get a secondary look at this as our officiating crew will take a peek, and we'll come back. Here's the fourth quarter underway in this Big East Big 12 matchup.
After review, the call on the floor has been overturned to a shot clock violation. The game clock will be reset to 9:11.
And so Kara Consuegra's ladies, a solid defensive sequence. There was Lee Volker on Peterson. Shot clock had expired before the foul had occurred. And it's also a good thing because that would have been number 4 for Lee Volker. There's already foul trouble currently for Marquette as Skylar Forbes is playing with 4.
Yeah, and the officiating crew got it right. Lee Volker was in legal guarding position. It was when the hands came down on the basketball is when the officiating crew decided, maybe that was a foul, but they definitely got it right. Shot clock violation.
And so now here's Olivia Porter, who's not scored in this second half after having 9 in the opening half, and a whistle as Skylar Forbes launching the 3. That's going to be 3 there from the stripe.
Kyle and Agodu, it looked like, blew up the screen on a three-point attempt before Skylar Forbes got it off, so it'll be out of bounds under in this situation for Marquette. But, Scott, this is exactly what Marquette needs to do. They need this to last as long as possible. Like, this 9 minutes for them needs to go slow and travel. Can't turn it over.
Yeah, you do such a good job on the defensive end. You're trying to chip away, and then the careless turnover on the offensive end.
Marquette cannot afford many turnovers here in this fourth quarter. They need to get shots up on the rim.
It was a 5-point UCF lead at the half. The Knights were able to balloon it there in the third quarter to 13. Before Marquette was able to make single digits.
Great move.
There is Emily Rodriguez. Are you kidding me? Navigating through traffic.
Yeah. And it's not just the move, Scott. It's the poise and the composure to finish once you make a move like that. As a freshman, like, she made that look very easy, but not a lot of freshmen in the country are able to go from one side of the rim to the other, 2 long strides and finish smoothly as she did.
As the former Miami Herald, Miami-Dade Player of the Year.
See that? The big step
stride
to get around Volker and then to finish softly off the glass, get your eyes up on that backboard.
And the rookie back-to-back games in double figures. In the meantime, Stevens down into Volker, 1 dribble, her pull-up too strong. Gusters with the board. As we play nearly 2 minutes here into this fourth quarter, just the second overall meeting between these two schools. Have to go back 1887. There's a night victory.
Go back to Neve.
Quick reset. Brown. Aycott unable to gather, and now Porter in transition. Open look, here's Lee Volker.
Needed it.
Offensive rebound. Forbes back to Volker. The give, the go, well executed. And now a timeout here for Satia Messer, third-year head coach for UCF. He's going to give her ladies here a quick breather. Let's talk it over, as it would be a quick turnaround for the Knights. The victory on Tuesday against Iona, here today against Marquette. Our Maddie May now here with a little bit more about that transformed UCF roster, that international flair that the Knights now have.
Yes, Scott, the UCF team has stamped their passport this season by adding 5 new international players. One of those players is Lucy from France, and when I spoke with her earlier, she said the biggest difference in playing basketball compared to the U.S. is France only has club teams. So you have to play outside of school. Lucy said that she would drive 4 hours back and forth by practice, by train, in order to play just for a team. She said that by playing here, she's really able to have these more resources, training opportunities, and still have this community built here. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, that roster here for UCF, 1 of 3 in the Big 12 that have 5+ players that do not hail here domestically in the United States.
You just attribute that to the growth of the game overseas.
Peterson, she's got an open look. The 3, too strong. Rebound Forbes.
Good look ahead.
And Perkins by herself. Rodriguez defensively is able to get back. And then a push here on the Golden Eagles. As Kennedy Perkins after the block.
Rodriguez is just out here doing it all tonight, Scott. Showing you what you can do offensively. Great job to go up right there and not commit the foul. That's the best part of what she did on the whole play. Even if she doesn't get the block, highly unlikely, once again, that Candy Perkins is going to be able to finish that shot over the top.
Rodriguez, one of 2 Knights here tonight in double figures, and the other one is not Peterson or Gusters.
Yep.
Peterson, 3-ball. And Sholokot, let's play for another. Rodriguez will step into a 3, bombs away. Woo! Emily Rodriguez, her second here of the second half from distance.
That's elite. That's high level. That's big time. Got anything else? Did I miss anything?
Huge! And coughing it up is Marquette, and UCF will come down with the scraps. as the third time UCF has had this lead at 13. Gusters. The pass to Rodriguez. She frees herself up. Count the bucket.
Yeah.
And the freshman can do no harm.
Yep. And this is a moment, Scott. All right, you see right here the big-time triple over the contested hand of Hallie Weiss. And then right here, to be able to find the open space, so important. She says, look, they're double teaming Gusters. I can find the open space underneath the rim. Let me move to an open spot. Smart basketball. But the moment is this, Scott. As a freshman, as a guy who was a former guy who was a leader of a team at a young age, this is when you earn the respect of your teammates. Like, they've seen you play in the offseason. They've seen you in workouts and pick up basketball. But for her to perform like this in a big-time game, in her second game of the season against Marquette, this is where you earn the respect of the veteran players, of the Caitlin Petersons, of the Hannah Gusters, right? Of the Neve Browns. This is where they look at you and go, okay, she's young.
Yeah, that confidence quotient, that goes up pretty quickly.
100%. You start to earn trust is the biggest thing.
And you know what, BJ? I think you could say the same thing a season ago for a Shawl Akot,
Absolutely.
who early on for the Knights would be an impact player.
Yes.
A team best, a game best, 17 points for Emily Rodriguez. Thievery, Lee Volker. Now to Perkins. The trailing Forbes, too strong. And then last touch by Rodriguez. This night defense has kept Marquette here just 33% good on the game from the field.
It's a foul.
And that is Olivia Porter getting bounced around by Hannah Gusters.
Yeah.
A step up in competition, BJ, from Iona, now here to Marquette, NCAA team, tournament team from a season ago, albeit here a brand new roster, first-year head coach. So a program that has had a lot of success here over the course of the past 8 or 9 years. Porter, her first point here of the second half.
And Olivia Porter does a great job of getting downhill to the basket, attacking the rim, as we're going to see. Looks like that ball is going to be off UCF, making it Marquette basketball. But they need to find ways to get Volker open shots, Forbes open shots from the outside. That will allow Porter more space to drive the rim. Right now, a lot of times when she drives, they just collapse the paint, and she doesn't really have anyone to kick out to for an open three.
Here's Perkins. Has nothing but nylon for Kennedy Perkins.
Yeah. Marquette, as they move throughout the season, they have to find ways to get better outside looks. Only 2 of 13 from the three-point line tonight. It's 15%. It's obviously got to go up and be better for them to compete in the Big East.
Here's Gusters. Open look. Snared down the rebound, Ariel Stevens, as we're under now 5 to play. CJ mentioned some of those three-point looks. Volker's had some good looks here tonight. Yeah. The reversal not there by Skylar Forbes.
That's a good move. He's got to finish it. Great move.
Trying to find Akot there on the baseline, running out of hardwood.
So 2 things have to happen here, Scott. UCF doesn't need quick turnovers. They want to use the shot clock, right? Make this game a low possession game for the rest of the way out. If you're Marquette on the opposite side, you obviously want to speed up this game, more possessions. Score, put on a press, force a turnover in the under 5 minutes.
And you're going to have some urgency quickly. Here is Forbes 3. Again, they can't buy a bucket from long range. And trying to drive is Porter. Nothing coming easy, says Shawl Akot.
And for Marquette, that's good. Get to the free throw line. You obviously want Olivia Porter to make 2. Then you want to throw on a press and force either a quick shot or a turnover by UCF so you can have an attempt to come back down and score again quickly.
Kara Consuegra to her bench. Coach Messer also brings out a pair of new Knights. And now to the free throw line. Here is Olivia Porter.
I already see Marquette's going to put on their press. A little 1-2-2 right here. They're going to trap the inbounds.
And getting that extra ball handler out onto the floor in Allie Steadman, who's recently come off that bench for Coach Messer.
And almost a 10-second violation. The 10, and they got the 10.
As Tasha Smith calling it there in the backcourt. Satia Messer pleading her case right now, fired up.
Yeah. It was close. It was very close. But the player who has control of the basketball needs to get their full body across the half-court line once 10 seconds are off. And at that point, Allie Steadman was not fully across the half-court line.
And so we hit the 4-minute mark. Here's trying to chip down on this double-figure night lead. Forbes loses it, gets it back, out to Krakel. She'll try a triple.
That would have been big.
There's Nagodu, double team, and a tie-up, and it'll stay here with UCF.
And so you see here, Scott, Allie Steadman's not across yet, still has a chance. And keep it going, throws it ahead, and ball's out of her hands. Ball's out of her hands. Once again, looked like could have been clean, could have been a no call.
And it comes to Brown. Loose ball on the deck. There's Volker. She gives it up as now here in the half court, Marquette is able to get the thievery. Got to turn that into points here.
Yep. You don't have a lot of time.
Point night advantage, that's right.
Running this ball screen motion. Just gotta get this going.
Volker trying to back Peterson down. Forbes pass gets knocked. And then a whistle against Caitlin Peterson.
Yeah, and still one away from the bonus, so not yet going to the free throw line for your Marquette, but a reset of the shot clock to 20 seconds.
That's number 3 on Peterson. Emily Rodriguez will check in for Allie Steadman here for UCF.
Lee Volker on the fade, little flare action.
That one dribble, the pull-up, it was another good look for Volker. And she's 4 of 10 here on the game, and beeline into the hoop is Rodriguez. Her layup attempt's going to get erased down on the baseline.
Gonna have a foul.
It's going to be in a contact.
Looks like it's going to be on Abby Cracknell as she comes over here and looks to get in position. It's clean up top from from Skylar Forbes, but Abby Cracknell will be the one to pick up the foul. And just once again, you got to speak to the aggression and the attack of Emily Rodriguez.
Just has a very good basketball mind. She knows where she's at on the floor.
Knows when to go, knows when to slow it down, but very efficient when she attacks.
The Cracknell foul, as opposed to Forbes, had it been Forbes, she would have fouled out of the game. And a perfect 7, or rather, take that, the one misfire here by Emily Rodriguez from the charity stripe, but a game-high 18 points for the freshman.
You can't expect
South Florida.
Yeah, you can't expect this level of efficiency every game, as looks like Forbes and Smith can't get on the same page, but
nobody home trying to. I think she's going to go to the back door instead, going to the corner.
Yeah, but you can't expect this level of efficiency from Rodriguez every game. I mean, 18 points on 5 of 7 shooting from the field, perfect from the three-point line, 2 of 2. Yeah, it's a great night, but you can expect her to be a player.
Here's a triple lifted by Rodriguez. It'll rim out. He's already with 2 of them on the game. And Marquette starting to really run out of time here. Volker across the paint to Sharia Smith, but she'll get fouled from behind. There was Neve Brown, a graduate transfer. Coach Consuegra to her bench. Out comes Cracknell, and into the game, Bridget Upberg. Now it's year number 1 in Milwaukee for Claire Consuegra, a one-time assistant coach at Marquette, and then did wondrous things in Charlotte. Being the school's all-time winningest coach.
And this is going to be a growing process for them throughout the season, right, Scott? This team is far from being a finished product this early on this season, right? Only 5 returners, 6 new players out of the portal, new head coach. They're still figuring things out. So this will be a different team come Big East play and going into January and February.
Stepping out on the far sideline, that is Caitlin Peterson, is UCF, their 25th turnover here this evening. But still here with this 10-point advantage.
And that's something that Coach Satia Messer will definitely not be pleased with in this game. 25 turnovers is far too many. Definitely going to want that number under 15 most nights.
He's able to split defenders. Lee Volker able to get the score. And she now in double figures here tonight, one of 2 Golden Eagles.
And don't look now, Scott, 8-point game with 1:47 to go. You force a turnover right here if you're Marquette. It's a 2-possession game. Turnover and a score.
And Brown going to survey here in the backcourt. Marquette's already forced an 10-second violation, and navigating is Brown.
They reset. If UCF reset, run some time off the shot clock, look to go inside to Gusters.
90 seconds here left in the contest. And Rodriguez had one whale of a game here tonight.
Look to go inside.
And Gusters off the block. Gusters 1 second. Gusters air ball. And if you're Gusters, you're going to tell the freshman,
yeah,
you got to be able to get it to me right then and there. She had to come off her plant foot to corral the pass.
Yeah, and that's, again, we saw it in the first game. We're seeing that still in the second game. Feeding Hannah Gusters the ball is not as easy as just making the decision to just, I'm going to give it to her, right? It's not that simple. Got to move the defense a little bit, then go inside when she's ready.
Here's an open look. Forbes triple, and finally it falls. As Marquette was 2 of 16 from downtown prior to the Forbes strike. And now the quick timeout here, and don't look now. With 61 ticks left, and a 5-point advantage right now.
And Scott, honestly, if it wasn't for the play of Emily Rodriguez, I'm not sure if UCF would have this 5-point lead right now. The freshman has led the way for the Knights, especially here in this second half, getting it done in all areas of the floor. The moment has not been too big for her, whether it was driving to the rim, knocking down open shots, or making plays on the defensive end. The freshman has been the leader here for the Knights.
14 of her 18 points here this evening have come in the second half as the tandem here this evening for UCF. We come in thinking Hannah Gusters as well as Caitlin Peterson. Obviously, they're going to be their consistency in terms of an offensive punch. And when you get displays like this, it's a good sign if you're this Knight coaching staff.
Yeah, well, I mean, 28 points on 10 of 14 shooting between those 2 players, that will work.
As Knight's able to snap the pressure. And picking the pocket, there's Volker.
And Marquette doesn't have to foul. They need to play this possession out. They have a foul to give, so if they do decide to get a little aggressive, go for a reach and a steal, it will not put UCF at the free throw line, which is what I think Coach Consuegra articulated to her team.
And here's the foul, as that's Volker.
Yeah, and Coach Consuegra didn't like that foul. Again, 45 feet from the rim. If you're going to reach in this situation when you have a foul to give, you want to reach on a live dribble. Why? Because then maybe you get a steal, allows you to go down the other end and score. Reaching on a player who just received the basketball at half court is not the foul. But now Marquette needs to play this possession out with a 21-second shot clock differential.
And that shot clock resets to 20 for UCF. Brown backs up inside that night logo, and now the reach in by Smith. And that's going to put UCF here to the foul line where they've been nearly perfect on the evening.
Yeah, and
6 of 7. But all of them, BJ, coming from one woman. That's Emily Rodriguez. No other night has attempted a free throw here until this juncture at the 27-second mark left in this fourth quarter.
And that's rare with players like Peterson and Gusters, who Gusters is such a force at the rim. A lot of times defenses will foul her just so she can't get an easy bucket. And Peterson's one of the best players at getting to the rim in all of the Big 12, but tough sequence right there for Marquette. You end up fouling after you let another 12 seconds run off the shot clock. You would have rather just fouled before you let the 12 seconds run off.
And Brown misfiring on both. Quick timeout. Kara Consuegra
unable to make them pay. So in this situation, Marquette doesn't need a three. They're going to look to attack the rim early, get a layup at the rim, even on a miss. They want to attack the offensive rebound. They want to go to the glass hard to get an old board and a putback. Then they're going to throw on their press, look to probably throw on one trap, try to force a steal. If not, then they'll foul. But it all starts with I'd expect them to push the ball towards the rim, not settle for an outside shot.
Well, offensively here tonight for Marquette, Lee Volker, the senior, here for the Golden Eagles. She has been able to provide the offensive pop.
Well, if Marquette does decide for an outside shot, Lee Volker is one of the players maybe they'll look to. Not a lot of success behind the three-point line tonight, but she's still one of the better shooters for the Golden Eagles.
10 points, 6 rebounds here tonight. Here, year number 2 in this Marquette program. Got the start here for Kara Consuegra, is now out of the timeout here with 25.5 seconds remaining. Trailing by 5. There's double-digit deficits 3 times in this game here for Marquette. And stepping out of bounds is Olivia Porter, an absolute backbreaker. Here for Marquette.
Yeah, Marquette looking to get a backside hammer over there. Porter is going to drive the baseline and look to find a shooter fading to the corner for the 3. Just stepped out of bounds, right? So see, this is what we call a backside hammer. Porter's job is to drive the baseline and set up the shooter in the corner, which was going to be Bridget Utberg. She was wide open. That's just the only dangerous part of that play is it's really hard to swing that pass. In the men's game, Scott, a lot of times you'll see big men jump out of bounds before leave their feet and just hit that pass to the corner. It's really, really tough to make that pass from as far as Olivia Porter was trying to make it.
Well, coming up on Saturday, Gus Malzahn's guys, they head out to the Valley of the Sun as they'll be taking on Arizona State and the Wildcats. As a 7 o'clock kick on ESPN2, a game you can catch here on ESPN Plus, of course. As trying to stay in the mix, as technically still potentially can get to the postseason for Gus Malzahn's guys. As his lovely wife Christy was in attendance here tonight, here to watch the UCF women's basketball team. Here, game number 2 for Satia Messer's ladies.
I've heard you'll be making an appearance.
I will be making an appearance in Tempe, Arizona.
Yes. Good luck, Scott.
For a good 3.5 hours.
Yes.
The entire game. As the men's basketball team, they'll get back to work come tomorrow as a handful of the guys on Johnny Dawkins' crew here in attendance tonight. Taking a look at B.J. Taylor's career statistics, my guess.
Oh, no, no.
They're on UCFKnights.com. Taking a look at some of those numbers of the 4 years that he donned the black and gold. And a 5-second call as Navee Brown unable to find an open night. And so Marquette continuing to get these golden opportunities.
Yep. And this is what we're seeing again. This is early season basketball, right? So Marquette unable to execute on a situational right there where they need a quick hitter. UCF unable to execute in a situational right there where they need to get the ball in bounds. Why is this happening? Because you just don't practice this a lot before the season starts. This is why these early season games are so important, because you get to work on these things in a live game setting.
Nashola Khan is going to enter the game. This is an offensive-defensive substitution as Rodriguez takes a seat with her 18 points here tonight. Shola Kott, that other night in double figures here this evening.
They've got to look.
20 seconds here left in the game.
Got to look.
As a top, here's the three ball lifted by Forbes. Not there, Gusters, and now the foul here by the Golden Eagles. As you get the opportunity atop the key. As Marquette 3 of 18 here this evening.
But you gotta speak to the resilience and fight of Marquette, Scott. There's been multiple times where this team could have hung their head and called it a night here in Orlando. They have fought back time after time after time to give themselves a chance to win this game. So while in a tough spot right here, being down 5 with 11 seconds to go, this team showed a lot of heart.
And Gusters looking as if she's putting things out of reach. A timeout, Kara Consuegra. As Hannah Gusters here for UCF. A game ago, 12 points, 10 rebounds in her first game as a Knight. How does she follow it up? With another double-figure rebounding performance, BJ.
Yeah, and this is going to continue to be a learning process for UCF, playing with Hannah Gusters. Right, the non-conference heavily is going to be focused on how do we play around her when she gets double teamed. What are our options? Right, are we going 4 out, 1 around her? Are we going to cut a player to the basket? Figuring out how to be most efficient and effective with her on the court, because it's not just a point, Scott. She's the best decoy on the team. She's the best attention attractor that they're going to play with, right? So it's not always that she needs to go for 20 and 15. There's going to be a lot of nights where teams are saying, Hannah Gusters is not going to beat us. We're going to dare the other players on the team to beat us. They're going to have to find ways to get easy looks.
How about this, BJ? 37 minutes of work here tonight for Hannah Gusters.
Yes.
As a season ago at Oklahoma State, averaged 24.5 minutes per contest. That's a testament to her working in the offseason and working with Coach Messer as they rekindle their relationship that started many moons ago back at Baylor. As now are the timeout. Arendt says too strong, too tall, the Volker pass. Knights will grab it. And that last gasp here by Marquette. Now UCF can delay the inevitable, which will be their second victory here of the season in their many nights.
Yeah, well, and again, there's going to be things that Coach Tatia Messer is going to want to clean up, but she's definitely going to be pleased with the balance that they had here tonight. Multiple players had their moments in this game.
And the free throw struggles here late in the contest. We saw Nay Brown misfiring on 2, and Caitlin Peterson is 75.5% good coming in. She'll get 1 of 2, and a little pressure. Caitlin Peterson will save it. There's Stedman, and then the foul here against Marquette.
You know what they say, Scott? You got to compete until the last whistle, but this is a situation where you're going to see great hustle right there from Caitlin Peterson, but if you're Allie Stedman, just get back. All right, get back. It's a 7-point game. It's 5 seconds on the clock, 4.3 to be exact. No need to run up and put yourself in a situation for a foul to be called.
Who's that Caitlin Peterson? She was able to save that between the wickets.
Well, nothing that KP does athletically surprises us anymore, right, Scott? I mean, it's like every game she does something that's sensational.
Substitution. Nagodu comes in for Shola Kott. Jaden Mason enters. Stevens checks out here with 4 3/10. Stedman looking. And Nagodu will get double teamed and then fouled by Olivia Porter. There were just under 2 ticks remaining.
Yep. And once again, you still see Marquette competing. I brought up what I was saying about the resiliency and the fight that this team had, and why that's important is because, Scott, you can work on execution. They can figure out how to get easier shots. They can find ways to be more efficient offensively. You can't teach a team to be more resilient and fight harder during the season. Teams either have that, they've built that in the offseason, or they don't, and this Marquette team clearly has it.
Well, one thing that Coach Consuegra mentioned to us is the fact that she liked where her defense is at this point here prior to game number 1. She thinks that that's going to be something they can hang their hat on night in, night out as they try to find themselves here with this brand new roster of players. And that's going to do it here from Orlando, where Satia Messer's ladies improved to 2-0 on the season, as it was Iona on